Yeah. So we are live streaming, apparently, but I'm not sure if we really are. So I guess we'll see here shortly. No, the mic's moving. I can see it moving. Good. Yay. Okay.
We on?
Okay, guys. Oh, that's not what I want. I'm learning. We're learning. We've had lots of technical difficulties this morning, but we're here, even though it's a much later rundown than we would normally do. But hey, guys.
Hi guys, coming at you
How's
from
it
London.
going? Today is Monday, October 24th, 2022. I'm Lindsay Duff.
I'm Jason G.
And this is Responsible Day Trading. And you can see we got a couple people hanging out behind us over there. So I know normally we would take a lot more time on this, but we're going to probably get through this a little bit quickly. Just simply because we are running far behind today due to all of our non-understanding of how to live stream.
Yeah.
So all right. So yeah, all right. So let's go ahead and we're going to check out the news and then we're going to check out the market. So today's news, why is this not going over there? Okay. Let's look at the news. We're going to go over to responsibledaytrading.com and then we're going to go to news. And here we can see we have a little bit on Tuesday. So Tuesday we'll have something 30 minutes after the market opens. We have on Wednesday 30 minutes and an hour after the market opens. On Thursday, it's an hour before the market opens. And on Friday, a little bit before and a little bit after. So there's a lot of news going on this week. So you just might want to pay attention because it does tend to make the market move when you've got some news going on. All right, let's go ahead and check out that market. Okay, so last week, and I need to pull this closer, sorry. Last week we talked about how it made this reversal bar and it pushed back up. And we were curious as to whether or not the MACDs were going to pop outside of the Bollinger Band. And so when they came down and just sat at that bottom Bollinger Band, made the reversal bar and came up and went through that top band, then we started seeing the reasons for more up. So it did come up here and make a double bar and it pulled back, but now we can see a bit of a reversal bar pushing up to this area. What's your thoughts on it, Jason?
Yeah, so I mean we've hit a sort of quite significant area there on this pivot. If I just show you what I'm talking about here, this area here was, if we look at the daily, we just scale that in a bit, you can see that that was quite a significant resistance and previous support area. So no surprise there that we've revisited that and had quite a strong bounce there with a really strong reversal bar there. And if you just take a look at what we get this problem sometimes with this.
It does it to me all the time too.
Yeah. So if you get close up on got a bit of retracement divergence here, pushing up towards the EMAs. I think there's a lot of liquidity behind this pivot, so it's very high probability with the strength of the MACDs as well that we're going to continue pushing up a bit more. I expect to see that same problem again. Not sure what's that, a Ninja Trader thing?
I think it is.
Have
yeah.
that on my charts, but so we push through here. Hopefully, that's where I think it's going to go, and we'll see what happens from then.
Yeah. So we are at that area that could create a bounce because we have the EMAs coming down, and we're just a little bit lower than that previous pivot. It's the strength of the MACDs that have me a little bit convinced that we have a chance to push up higher. I mean, we are below the zero line, so it's still down. Yeah. The long-term direction is still down. We're still below the EMAs, we're below the zero line, but it looks like it's trying to make the shift to the upside. And we may see something kind of like what we see back in here, where it just kind of takes its time to get up and go through. But once it does, it gave a really nice big pivot to the upside. And, the reason we can do what we do is because the market tends to repeat itself. And so when we find these patterns, we can look for, opportunities. I do see this bar starting to close down towards the bottom, but it's still early in the day. I think we're only an hour. Yeah, the market's been open for an hour. So, there's still a lot of time to see what happens. But I love the distance that's happening between these BBs right now. It's showing a lot of strength and momentum. And so if we come to the 28,657, it's trying to tell us a little bit of a different story. Yeah. We had some nice divergences or right here, we've got some pretty strong divergence as the price pulled up and the MACDs are leading a lot lower after it came off of these white BBs. And I mean, it looks like there was some crazy movement overnight. I haven't looked at it in a few days, to be honest with you, but it looks like there was some crazy movement overnight. So what happened was it pushed it through the EMAs to the upside, and it showed a lot of strength and momentum with those EMAs coming to the upside. But what we see now is we see this price bar pulling back into that small EMA, and we see a lot of strength in those MACDs to the downside. I mean, with these areas, I do still anticipate them to hold typically at least enough to give a little bit of a bounce or something to that nature. But with the strength of the MACDs, it'll be kind of hard to think of that happening. It might come down a little bit further towards that next EMA if it's going to continue up from here. Then we're going to look at our trading charts, which are a little bit weird for me today. Let me close that so that we can have a little more space. And here we go. So, as we're looking at these charts, what we do is we always take it from largest to smallest, right? It's like reading a book to me. We're going to start with the big one on the left and then move to the small one on the right. So the big one on the left here is looking like it's trying to shift to the downside. Now, it hasn't exactly shifted to the downside yet because we want to see the price below both EMAs before it's considered shifting, but it's really working on getting there. So while the daily chart looked like it was trying to push up, we can definitely see the reasons for this to move to the downside more.
Yeah, in the short term for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely switched to the short positions on the 1597 and the 233 as it's pulled back into the EMAs while they're opened up and strong to the downside. It's not exactly strong MACDs to the downside currently. So as we're sitting here at this particular area, we have to determine to ourselves, are we anticipating to break through that area? Are we going to anticipate that area to hold? The MACDs on our 10946 say we should break through that area. We don't quite have agreement here, but you can see those MACDs, they're winning out in that big that longer term area. So what we would be looking for if we're going to anticipate it to continue down is we'd be looking for it to pull back towards the areas of the small EMAs on the 1597. If we're looking for some just kind of quick opportunity, maybe even back to the 233, but I personally don't see anything I would take at this moment.
No. It's been a very volatile start to the day, and if you just look at that pre-market action there, I mean, that's pretty insane. A huge V-shaped reaction. The price moving, some 60, 70 points. So it's quite volatile. It might be one to sort of sit in your hands a little bit, wait and see if things do calm down or not. But definitely be careful out there if you're trading today because it does look quite volatile.
Yeah, I was going to say if there's anything I would take, it'd be the long, and I wouldn't even want to do that right now. Just how strong the MACDs are to the downside on the 10946. I'd want to see them at least slow down a little bit. But it's created a lot of space back to the EMAs, and we anticipate it to snap back to them eventually, right? That's how we can take these opportunities when they happen here. So if you were looking for something currently, it would be tough to take that short.
I think I'd be waiting to get down to this sort of area and see how the price action reacts. It's quite a significant pivot here, and the way it's looking now, it does look like it's pushing towards that pivot. Could find some support here off of this higher time frame EMA, of course, but I think at some point, we're into this in between these EMAs. Never my favorite sort of area, chopping around in here, but you can still find trade opportunities. But I think we're probably going to be most likely heading towards this previous pivot over here. And then I'll be maybe interested in looking for long opportunities. If it goes the other way, if it goes straight to the top, then I'll be maybe waiting until it gets up there and see how it reacts before looking for continuation or failure.
Yeah.
You've got to stay in tune with what's happening today.
And we had what looked like a nice little pullback right in here to take. But after seeing this weakness that's happening here, I would want to wait until, because I would anticipate that to struggle to push through there to the downside, maybe come down and hit that bottom Bollinger Band with the BB. And Yeah, I mean, it's just ugly. I wouldn't trade anything right now because the amount of risk that you're going to have on it at
Yeah.
this point, because when it drops like a rock and
Yeah.
you click that button to get in, then it's the same thing that we've been talking about with
Yeah.
some of the students here, that creates a really, it puts your risk at risk. And so we wouldn't want to do that.
Just look at these pops now. You know, I mean, it's really moving. So yeah, you definitely have to have the right risk sort of set up for this type of trading. Really, if you got small risk, 1.25 points, you know, it's a high probability you're going to get chopped up a bit.
Yeah.
You know, so think about that.
I mean, just looking at those bars right now on the 233, those are like 2-point bars. So if you get in at the bottom, you're already at your max risk, if not worse. So, so while it's showing what looks like opportunities to the downside, and here you can see those MACDs are doing, they didn't come down to the bottom Bollinger Band, but they're showing you that they're continuing up. All of this movement that came down, these stayed blue, and we're still rolling up. The strength is starting to die out on the 10946, which to me is a good sign, right? We may see this continue up from here. I don't think that it's going to go all the way back up here currently. The place that we would want to see it, I mean, like if it does go back up, I'd want to see it start pulling back further into here, which is, a good 100 points away. So it's got it's got plenty to work with in between there, right?
Yeah.
So now it's pulling into the EMAs on the 1597, and then you have to say to a lot of people what they do at this point, and they say, okay, well, it's pulling up here and it's giving me a reversal bar. I'm going to go ahead and take the short, but not paying attention to what the MACDs are saying when they reach there, because the MACDs will say it's not time yet. You would have to see some sort of divergence that's happening here. You'd want to see the reason for the slow and roll, and you want to see these have the ability to continue to push down so you can push through this area. So
yeah, I think if I did trade it today, hopefully you get a couple of early wins and then be done as soon as possible, because it's one of those market environments where you don't want to be trading the full trading session right now as it stands anyway. Let's see if it calms down or not. But yeah, if I did get a couple wins, I'll be closing it down.
yeah,
Today.
definitely.
Do something else.
I
Less
mean,
risk.
That's pretty much what I do anyways,
Yeah. I don't always do that. So yeah, a little bit of advice there.
Is there like any comments or anything? I can't see any comments or anything, so I don't know if y'all are leaving any, but if you are, it'd be fabulous. But if you've got questions, definitely let us know. I think that pretty much wraps it up, though. I mean, you're seeing right now the strength picking up to the upside as it's pulling back. The next spot would be as this EMA comes down a little bit, which lines up pretty much, this one's just a little bit lower. But it gives a good space for the possibility for a push back down. I mean, it's all about once you get to the next area, you need to determine whether or not should that area hold or break. And if you're anticipating it to hold, if you're in a trade, then you want to get out. If you're anticipating it to break, then you want to move your risk down and keep going with that anticipations of it.
So I think that's it from us, RDT. We're here in London having a team get together. It's the first time we've all come together. We've got some of our trading students with us and scholarship students as well. Yeah, so it's been great time getting together. I've known Lindsay for more than 10 years, and it's actually the first time we've met in person.
Yeah.
We've been working together for years.
I feel like I've known these people forever, though.
So this is an Airbnb place we've rented to sort of set up our little studio here. So we can do this. We've also got the actual scholarship announcement tomorrow. So we're going to also do a live stream for
and
that.
now that we've figured out how to live stream, we should be on time tomorrow.
Yeah. So
we'll be there at noon Central Time.
Yeah.
Which will be 6 o'clock here.
UK time.
So we're going to announce the 4 winners for the scholarship, and we're excited about that.
Yeah.
So
we had some really great applicants
super
this year.
great.
So I'm really looking forward to working with new people. Thank you for all of you that have applied.
Yeah.
We will have a little special gift for everybody that's coming, that has applied for the scholarship.
Yeah.
So look out for that. And join us on the live stream.
Absolutely. And thank you for being here with us today, guys. If you've got questions, reach out to us. You can always find us You can always send a message into info@responsibledaytrading.com, and we will get back with you pretty quickly.
Like and subscribe, please.
There you go. Like and subscribe.
Right. And leave some comments if you'd like to see a bit more of this type of thing. We'd like to know, because this is the first time we've really done a live stream. So,
Yeah.
we're thinking about maybe working on something like this format in the future. So if you think it's a good idea, maybe some live market trading, live market reviews, let us know. Leave some comments down there.
Definitely. All right. Thank you for being here, y'all, and we will catch you next week.
All right, guys.
All
Take
right,
care.
bye.